DCG started servicing our needs 10 or 15 years ago at our old office in North Hollywood. And back then I wasn't really aware of the scope of the services they provided. I don't think we had a server. We just had intranet, kind of in their infancy. Anyway, when we moved to a newer location, somehow DCG got lost in the shuffle. New employees contacted another company that took over DCG was doing. And so we used them. That was about 10 years ago. We used them for probably 4 or 5 years. Not only did I think they were overcharging us, but we had a catastrophic hard drive server failure. And it turns out that for several months we hadn't been backing up data, and they were unaware of it. Created a major fiasco. I mean, that's what they're there for, right? If you're supposed to have a catastrophic failure, it should be fairly problem-free getting our data back. So after that happened, we cut them loose, and somebody mentioned that DCG used to work for us, and let's call them again. DCG came back in and kind of revamped what equipment we had back there and told us what we should be getting, and we've been doing fine since then. Well, the one thing I like about them is that I do know that their technicians are very knowledgeable and very responsive. I would recommend their know-how in that respect. We have a personal connection when they come over or when we talk to them on the phone. That helps. I feel like they know they've kind of become familiar to our needs. They've kind of learned how to work with us. So maybe you can call that personalized service. They made some recommendations that I thought were beyond the scope of our budget at first, but they were patient with us, and we just eventually phased things in, spending a few $1,000s every few months or every few years, rather than blowing it all at once. What they're doing is preventing any loss in the future. That's how I look at it. They charge a good hourly rate, definitely competitive with other companies. Brent made a very good effort at explaining what he does, and his sales materials were very clear. A lot of gibberish that we didn't understand, and he and his employees always explain what's behind the answers behind the questions we give them, instead of the technobabble. If we start to get a little bit of technobabble, we ask them to explain, and they're very patient about that. But the great thing is that, we'll call them, and they respond pretty quickly, within a few hours, instead of a few days.